Hey y'all, welcome to Swamp Talk, where we talk about everything Magic the Gathering. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about what the sets were released this year, what we kind of thinking about where's the money being spent, let's call it, Let's make sure it's all kind of fair to players. Say, before we peel this back, if you've been enjoying our content, please like and subscribe. It really helps that algorithm kind of find us out there. Say, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Thomas.
Say, let's get into this, y'all. So I really want to take a look at as this year's kind of rolling out, and Final Fantasy's right around the corner next month. Kind of some of the changes that have kind of occurred in Magic strategy. So in 2024, for example, they rolled out quite a few sets: Merges of Karlov, Thunder Junction, Modern Horizons 3, Bloomburrow, Duskmorn, Foundations, all those in-universe sets. They also had the Ravnica remastered, not a new set, but full in universe. Then they had two universes beyond with Fallout, which was only the Commander decks and the collector boosters. Then they had the Assassin's Creed, which was kind of a full set, but we had the Beyond boosters, which were the biggest miss of misses. I think even Wizards has admitted that was a failed product, in those tiny, tiny packs that make you feel bad. You get halfway through the pack and you're like, "Where's the rest of my pack? That's the full pack." Um, but man, it's a different beast to this year, isn't it, Tom? Like in 2025 compared to 2024 is just crazy.
Yeah, it's way crazy. So in 2024, we had 9 sets. 2025, we only had 7 sets, which is, we're getting less sets per. And in 2024, 6 of the sets were in universe, and 2 were universes beyond. And we're getting 3 sets in universe with a remastered set, which is technically in universe, and then 3 sets out of universe. And really, I have to say, I think that the uh, universes beyond product is probably causing the amount of set, like the lower amount of sets, right? Because it's taking that much more time to kind of come up with cards and come up with those equating values that we would see come out just over time with these in-universe sets, because these characters are well developed. Everyone already knows who they are, and they're just remaking cards off of old cards that already like the characters that already existed. So it's kind of crazy that and I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, but I don't know that I feel great.
I very mixed feelings. So I like certain things about the universes beyond. I think it helps bring in players who weren't Magic players beforehand, but they see this interesting product. And I loved Lord of the Rings. I loved Final Fantasy. I loved whatever it may be, and like bring some new blood into the door, which I think is fantastic. You got to keep refilling the player pool as other people cycle out. Plus there's been a few cards that are just absolute like flavor wins. Like I mean, for me, the Warhammer 40K set, which was obviously just the commander decks, but was just incredible, 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 incredible. It felt so good inside of Magic, but then felt incredibly flavorful to Warhammer 40K, and I really, really enjoyed that set. Um, but that being said, I think that there are some negatives, some significant negatives when it comes to so much universes beyond. And I think that also has to do with power. I think when you're really trying to make these things feel flavorful, and you've seen it in the Warhammer set a little bit, and you're definitely going to see it in Final Fantasy, um, where certain cards are just absolute bonkers. They probably never would have been printed that way if they were in universe. And I'm not saying they're totally unbalanced. Most of them are kind of in line, but I think it's creating extra power creep when there's already a lot of power creep, that I don't know is healthy for the format long term, especially if you're going to do three, essentially 50% of your new sets every year are going to be universes beyond. Uh, I think it's a lot of additional factors and a lot of additional balancing that's going to make it more complicated, if this is the trend for 2026. Um, Not a huge fan of that. And
Hmm.
I think the current thing going on with the Marvel release kind of compounds on certain things where now on paper Magic and online Magic aren't gonna have the same cards. Yeah, they're gonna do the same things, but they're not gonna have the same names.
But you might as
Which
well have
again is
done
not
that in universe if you're gonna do that.
1,000. I think again, obviously Marvel, the Secret Lairs went bonkers. People bought all of them. They're ridiculous. Marvel's going to do well. It's just a huge IP, and I understand wanting to bring that, and people are just going to go nutty for it. At the same time, man, slow your roll, secure the digital rights, secure the paper rights, and then announce it. I understand you want to build hype, you want to do stuff, but like, let's dot the I's, cross the T's. Like
The part that is
make it easier.
the part that's the worst for me in this is that specific thing you're talking about. This is not the first time we've come across this avenue. I remember a lot of players talking about how the Warhammer 40K took forever to get to digital. You knew that this was a thing, right? You knew that there was potentially going to be an issue with digital rights of these universes beyond. Why did you not secure those rights before you even sign the dotted line to bring the product to paper? I don't know that we'll ever know why that happened, but it just seems like a total miss where you should have learned that lesson and you didn't.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that they didn't learn from everything, and I know that was part of what happened with Lord of the Rings as well, where a lot of the art changed because they didn't have the digital rights for that as well. They couldn't bring in the movie, to the art for Lord of the Rings. Not, but the art ended up kind of tying into the Amazon TV show, which was nice. So I don't think that was a total failure. Admittedly, as someone who loved the movies at the time, I was very disappointed. Especially, I really wanted Gimli. I wanted Gimli so bad from the movie on a card. It hurt my soul. Just it hurt my soul just a little bit. Um, but I think that Wizards, now with Hasbro, they're being forced to bring it. Everybody it's Fortnite, man. Bring in Star Wars, bring in Disney, bring in this, bring in that. Like they feel this pressure to bring in, do collabs, just collab, and I think there's huge social pressures to kind of do that. As people love it, people eat up that nostalgia, they eat up all that, and I don't think having Universes Beyond is a bad thing. I think continuing to have it every year is an okay thing, but I'd like to see it be one or two sets a year, and they're super polished, they're super clean, they have all the digital rights, and they can really spend, give the balance team time to like make sure that these fit into Magic, but still feel part of their home universe. And I think the more you release these things, and I think part of my best example, and obviously it's not a set, is the Marvel Secret Lair. Captain America, Storm, like, I hate that these cards are released that way. They're not gonna. It doesn't seem like they're gonna be part of the main set from the news that's been released, and they don't feel balanced to me most of the time. I'm not saying they're like top tier, like number of full S unbalanced, but they're really, really strong cards that were only accessible in a Secret Lair. Um,
Yeah, I mean, this is another miss on. I guess I'm gonna put it on Wizards for this because they always had said that all universes. I mean, all yeah, I guess all universes beyond Secret Layers would get a universes within counterpart, and this is the one where we still have not seen it, and we still haven't heard any word of why or what is the deal. But it's a huge feel bad, right? You won. You stripped everyone of the ability of everyone being able to get it, right? Because now you're dealing with potentially bots and buyers who are just buying way too much than they're supposed to be able to buy, so that a lot of people are left out in the rain with nothing, and then you don't give those people out in the rain with nothing a counterpart, and that is a huge feel bad.
Yeah, you know, as someone who didn't get any of that drop because I didn't jump on it immediately, you know, it's terrible having to work a job, honestly, you know, and not being on the ball 24/7 with it. But when we went to MagicCon Chicago in February, and that guy in front of us opened a suitcase with, I mean, 60 to 70 Marvel Secret Lairs, I
That was a feel bad moment.
I had
Right
to
there.
walk. I had to walk away. I felt I was so aggravated in that moment. And the irony of ironies, even the booth he was selling them to, like there was an element of disgust on that vendor's face. He's like, "You bought how many of these?" Because you know that wasn't all he bought. There's no way he'd already sold some at this point, and he's just sitting there, and I'm like, "You scalping just dick, like you absolute dick." You know, obviously Wizards should have printed more. I'd love to see them printing to demand, even if I have to wait again. Um, I'd be entirely okay with waiting if it meant that more people could get it. But back to the sets. You know, I'm done with my, you know, welcome to my TED talk on Universes Beyond with Secret Lairs. But I think as we kind of push into this year and now a month out from Final Fantasy, essentially, something that isn't dropping and is only going up, the cost. Because obviously, in October, when they announced what was coming out this year, they said, "Hey, all Universes Beyond are going to be standard, modern, they're full legal sets in all these formats." You know, which already is going to increase the cost because if it's just Universes Beyond and it's not in standard, well, not as many people need it. You know, like it's not hitting every format. Well, now it's hitting every format. So now everybody's going to need the best cards from it to be competitive in whatever format they like to play. And it's clear that not enough has been printed. I mean, just today I was looking, and the cheapest play booster I could find was $170. I know that's not MSRP, but that's the cheapest that's currently being offered. You know, I'm sure some people got it for 140. I genuinely hope all your game stores honor it and be good guys. I hope nobody gets punked out of a decent pre-order. I hope everybody who bought it for a price that they should be paying gets that price. You know, but I mean, you look collector boosters, $711 is the cheapest I could find today. That is insane to me. You know, like that you're gonna sell a collector booster for over $700 on release.
That is, you know, we're starting to get up in territories where we're starting to, you know, the way I guess I qualify this is, you know, how much does your mortgage cost? Right? Like, we're starting to get up into territories where this is people's mortgages. Like, you're getting a house for the same price as you can get, I guess, a payment on a house for the same price as a bunch of cards. 12 pack. Actually, I think this is like less than 12 packs. I think this is like 10 packs. It's either 10 or 12 packs, but I mean,
you know, I didn't look at the pack count. I don't care if it's 10 or 12. Even if it's 12, it's too many. Unless you're telling me for first time collector boosters now come packs of 30.
Yeah.
No, which I know it's not. That's insane. That's a really good point. You know, honey, I was going to pay the mortgage, but I bought a collector play booster, and we're going to see what happens.
This was important, all right?
Gamble. Yeah, we're going to gamble our mortgage, baby. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. I'll make it back. You know, it's almost like that, you know. I mean, I realize Magic players in nature are somewhat gamblers, but, you know, there's a really big difference between a $4 pack and a $710 box. Like, it's not even... Your college professor did not ask for the comparison paper on that, man.
No. And this is insane.
I mean, the cheapest bundle I could find was $90. The gift bundles were $155. The pre-release, and this made me almost vomit on my keyboard. The cheapest I could find today was $80 for
That's
the pre-release kit.
insane.
I
Insane.
mean, like I tell you, pre-releases are so fun. There's no universe that I currently occupy where I'm going to pay $80 for a pre-release kit.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is.
I genuinely hope that Wizards sees some of these prices now and goes talks to, Steve in printing, like, yo, Steve, we messed up demand. I know we said we were going to sell, 100,000 boxes, but we need you to double that in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Yep. Send it now. Yeah. Talk to Marco. Yeah. Everything, crank it to 11. Stop any future printing. We need more of this. We don't have enough.
I mean,
I'm hoping that they literally take a look at this and realize we haven't put enough product out there. There's not going to be stuff for sale at a price that's reasonable. People are going to scalp the ever living garbage out of this, and it's going to be disgusting.
to give you some numbers here, at the MSRP of the collector boosters, if there were 12 packs at the MSRP, it would cost $455.88.
Man, this inflation, brother. I'm gonna have to start selling my eggs to afford my Magic the Gathering addiction.
I mean, it's
Oh my
that's
God.
insane. It's insane.
Yeah. God, that's a part of knowledge I didn't need. Oh, that hurts my soul, brother. That hurts my soul. I'm hoping that Wizards takes the next essentially 30 days and really put stuff into overdrive, and you see maybe a second wave of huge things sent to game stores really, really quickly. Again, if you got your early pre-release, you got your whatever for a very reasonable price, good on you. Like, good call. It was definitely a good call. I will say, I think to some extent, and I'm curious to see exactly how it pans out, is we saw it in Tarkir, and I think is a good example. Tarkir had a lot of hype, things kind of went up a little bit, and then so much product was open, just product upon product upon product upon product, and you saw even the most expensive cards fall dramatically very quickly as the market was truly flooded. And I'm curious to see if we'll see that again, and I think way more product will be open this time than Dragonstorm. I think the amount of Final Fantasy product sold will be record-breaking, staggering.
This is already the most popular set that they had. Like, you cannot buy this in
true.
certain places. Like, there are certain places that you would be able to buy this, and it's already sold out. You can't even. There's going to be way more product of this that's going to be opened. And while I do understand that the graph where Magic players and Final Fantasy players kind of meet is, a lot of us.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to kind of set a precedent that I don't think that we as players want to be set, especially seeing some of these prices where, you put out a set that has a lot of, backing behind it, a lot of hype, and it is just going to go way out of control. People are going to because the thing you have to feel bad about is that these people who are going to end up spending like $700 on these packs because like they want to get that. They're never going to get that value out of it. No. What are you doing? You might as well just take that $700 and just go buy the cards that you wanted.
Yeah, again, all Magic players are a little bit of a gambler, but just the amount of gambling, the risk involved is great, and I think it's sending a dangerous precedent. I think something that really hits home to me is I went and looked at the Spider-Man pre-orders. The cheapest I could find today, and obviously this has changed, that's very far out in comparison, was $210 for a play booster. $210. Not for collector packs, play booster box. $210. That's ridiculous. I paid 115 for my box of Tarkir, which I thought was a fantastic price. You know, like a little bit lower. I loved it. I was very, very happy. I'd pay 115 for every box forever. Totally. I, as it stands, will not be buying a Final Fantasy box. I will buy singles. I will listen to the professor and not play the booster box game. The man's been around a long time and he knows a few things, Tom. He's figured it out. He's done the math. He's a literal professor.
So, I mean, like, this is like an interesting thing to talk about, right? Like, I mean, a lot of these sets that we have to take into consideration. We used to get 36 packs in a box. Now we're getting 30. You're getting six less packs in a box, and we're paying more than we've ever paid. I was a person who would buy a box and like a commander deck at least out of every set that came out, because I was like, you know what, this sounds cool. You know, I get to open some packs. I get to get the packs at a good price. Now I'm struggling to. I mean, I bought my Tarkir box for around the same price that you did, Ryan, and I am struggling right now to even come to like the even thought of buying boxes now, right? Unless I pre-order like way ahead in advance where I can get like really good prices.
Yeah, something that really pains me about this personally, Tom, and I didn't this didn't really hit me until earlier today, is if we were in high school now, there is a 0% chance that if this was the first set we saw, we would get into this game. It's too much money. Mm-hmm. You are pricing out teenagers. I mean, shoot, you're pricing out adults, man. Like you're pricing out some adults. And you're definitely pricing out teenagers who don't have real money. This is ridiculous. It feels criminal. And I realize it's supply and demand. You know, it's welcome to capitalism, baby. I think though Wizards has a lot of control over supply because this is cardboard, and maybe print more supply in a really, really disgusting way. Help control your secondary market. Help control what these game stores are doing, because they're just, I mean, I'm not happy what these game stores are doing with these prices, but I understand why they're doing it. Oh, you're telling me you'll buy it for 200? I'll sell it for 200 then. You know, they're a business. They need to make money. I don't like it, but I understand why they're doing it. I hate that it prices people out. And as somebody who hasn't proxied in the past, if this is the future of Magic, my proxy opinion is going to change.
Yeah. I mean, my proxy opinion is already kind of changing. I mean, it's starting to get to that point, right? Like, I mean, to kind of talk about, pricing out from like our perspective, during the Foundations era, right? I mean, I bought my box of Foundations for like $115. The local game store, the biggest game store that we have around here, was selling for $226. The same box. It's insane, right? Like, I mean, we talk about wanting to save the game stores, wanting to help the game stores. How? I cannot justify spending over $100 more on a box just to buy it from a game store. I can't do it.
You know, make me want to buy more product, not less product at a higher price.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, like I would love to feel the need to buy a box of something and then, but you know what? I want to go spend another $35 on a bundle. You know, like I want another taste, brother. You know, like that initial 30 was tasty, but man, I need a snack. You know, bring that back to me. You know, I definitely felt that. Last year. I mean, shoot, more so than I know some people did, but Bloomborough. Oh my God, was Bloomborough a great set? Really loved it. Incredibly flavorful. Felt really good in universe. Some really fun art. Really good cards. You know, I bought some and then went back and bought some more. Fantastic set. You know, make me want to. And obviously it's expensive now, but when it first came out, it was reasonable. People weren't being priced to oblivion in Bloomborough.
I mean, I totally
if you
get the price
try to
going
buy
up
it now,
after a while, right? The price
Yeah.
going up after like a while that it's been out. I don't like that's fine. I mean, if I really want it, I will go spend the money to go get it. I do realize that I've missed the mark, right?
Yeah.
But like new sets should not be that. If I'm on the
No.
mark, I shouldn't pay the price if I'm off the mark. I mean,
No,
that's my whole thing.
It's unreal. I hope Wizards takes a real look at what's happening right now with Final Fantasy. I think if they let this come to fruition and things really do go for these prices, it's setting a huge problem that hopefully can be corrected in future sets if it goes live on this set. I think they need to be paying attention because this is not cool, man. As someone who loves this game, this is ridiculous. Like there's no other way around it, and I you know it's not something that I'm willing to pay for long term if this is what it is. I love having real cards. I've never really wanted a proxy. I want to have something that is real. It's the original product, you know. But at the end of the day, this is cardboard, and man, it's troubling. It's troubling that this is where we are. Hopefully, it's not where we'll be in 6 months. Or shoot, in this world, hopefully, it's not where we're at in a month. Hopefully, I look next week. I'm like, you know what? It's down to 140. All right. It's not as low as I want, but that's a lot closer. It's a lot closer.
I mean, I think that the game stores and Wizards needs to take a look at like future growth. I mean, the fact is that proxies do exist, and people will just go after the proxies, right? I mean, that's just inherently what's going to happen. But the thing is there's a price cost, right? There's the the graph that we hit that people are willing to spend the money to support the game, to support the game stores. There is a point where people will stop buying product and will start just paying artists for proxies because it costs way less. I can go to these websites and have whole decks built from actual cards. I can go to these proxy artists that are amazing who can make me whole decks for way less. And I mean, people will start going to do that. I mean, it's inherently what it is. And if you have enough people who move in that direction, you no longer have people buying cards. The game stores will eventually close, and Wizards will eventually have to cut ship as well, because if nobody's buying the cards and we're all just buying proxies of the cards, how do you make money off of that? I think that Wizards really needs to take a look as well. Like you said, they need to take a look at the market and figure out how to deal with this issue that we are coming closer and closer to. Because I don't know how you fix it, but it's got to get fixed.
So to kind of put us towards the end here, I think the way to do it is less Universes Beyond, because I realize when you do a Universe Beyond, they have higher needs because they're now paying this IP for the rights to this, so it increases their cost. Therefore, it kind of is passed on to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Give me less of that a year. I'm entirely okay with it. Give me 2 a year, or give me 1 a year and give me a sick commander deck set, like they did with Warhammer, or I think slightly lesser with Fallout. I'd be entirely okay with that, and I think the standard players would be too.
I mean, the standard players just want to play Magic, right? They don't really. I don't know that there are. I mean, maybe there are, but I don't know. There's a lot of standard players who are like, yeah, I want to play Magic, but only if Final Fantasy is in part of it. Like, I don't think they care so much about that. And yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, if you had less of that, then I would feel a lot better spending $170 once a year than half of the year. Like, it's financials right there.
Yeah, it's the classic thing, you know. I'll never financially recover from this.
I
You
will,
know?
I will not.
But hey, if you've made it this far and you haven't liked yet, but you don't, come on, drop us that like, drop us that subscribe. If you didn't like us and you're still here, let us know why. Put it down below. I'd love to see what you have to say. Say, have a great day, y'all. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Thomas.
We're out.
We're out.